Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. It's my pleasure to call to order this public hearing to hear the views of the public related to the future of the Cache Creek Pool. The public hearing is being convened for the public to provide opinions regarding the future of the pool. At this public hearing, the public will be allowed to make presentations to council. All persons participating who believe that their interest is affected by the discussion shall be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard or to present written submissions respecting matters related to Cache Creek Recreational Pool. We will first hear from those persons who have submitted opinions in writing to council regarding this issue. We will then ask the general public participating in person or online if there's any person who wishes to speak on the topic. Any questions or concerns by those viewing online must be typed in on the Facebook Live site, beginning with the first and last names of the person making the submission. If you wish to submit a question or comment via Facebook, we advise you to do that now, as it takes time for those to be reviewable. The function of council members this evening is to listen to the views of the public. It's not the function of council at this public hearing to debate the status of the Cache Creek Recreational Pool with individual citizens. Everyone shall be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard at this meeting. No one will be or should feel discouraged or prevented from making their views heard. Any written question, comment, or concern about the proposed bylaw received prior to 12 noon, Monday, October 7th, will be read out at the public hearing. Late submissions may be heard if council passes a motion to do so. To maintain order during the public hearing and to ensure everyone has a reasonable opportunity to be heard, the following rules of procedure have been established for public hearings. Only the Village of Cache Creek Recreational Pool is being discussed at this meeting. Each speaker will be permitted to address the hearing twice. Initial presentations will not be limited, providing your comments are relevant to the issues at hand and the hearing is not being obstructed. After each person who wishes to speak has done so, a second opportunity to speak will be allowed. However, each speaker will be limited to 10 minutes. To begin your presentation, please state your first and last names for the record. Your name and comments will be recorded in the minutes of this meeting and any reports generated from this meeting. Please observe these rules. If you have any concerns with the manner in which the public hearing is conducted, please direct your comments to the chair. The corporate officer will now read out any written question, comment, or concern submitted by the deadline. If there are any online participants who wish to address the public hearing, the Hub Online will read them out. I should introduce myself. My name is John Renta. I'm the mayor of the Village of Cache Creek. Seated next to me is Councillor Carmen Renta and Councillor David Dubois and Kelly Diebert and Sue Peters. That is the council of the Village of Cache Creek. And now the administrator, Damien Couture, who is joined by Christina Martini. Next to him, the treasurer of the village. Damien will now read out any written submissions.
Just to give everyone a forewarning, I have 7 written submissions and 52 for the online form. So, sorry to say you're going to hear my voice for a little while. Starting with the first one, just because it wasn't expressly stated in the online form that we would have names on record, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to read people's names in this, but names will be put in the actual meeting minutes afterwards. This way people seeing online. We didn't expressly say it, so we don't feel that it's fair to put somebody's name there when they haven't told us that that's okay. But they will be in the final document. So starting with the first one submitted, first statement, I cannot make the council meeting this evening, but I believe it is wrong to get the pool up and running. There are too many other things that could utilize the monies needed for a trial run to even start. So please, Mayor and Council, know my opinion. Thank you. Next one, stated, please tell John I would like to vote yes for the pool. I need it and the kids of the community need it. Next. reset my submission on the pool. We are not in favor of spending any further dollars on the Cache Creek pool. Next, to whom it may concern, we the undersigned veto any spending monies on the pool. There's too many other concerns in the village that need money spent on them, such as the downtown core cleanup and no access to washrooms in the pool area. Next, although having a pool would have been a lovely thing for 3 months of the year, we as a village cannot afford this luxury. Opening the pool has been a significant cost, assuming that everything is operational, and the cost of maintaining is also considerable. We have so many other places to use this money. Right now the pool is a liability, a tragedy just waiting to happen. It is also an eyesore and an embarrassment to all who live in this community. Next. As a resident of Cache Creek, I would think it is a great idea to explore the costs of a splash pad. My suggestion would be that the most economical way would be to fill in the existing pool and use that area for a splash pad project. The company to which I have no affiliation to, ABC Recreation, has a great starting point. Here's a link to their website, they then provided a link. There may be grants and fundraising opportunities. The work could be completed by village workers, and another good starting point would be to find a supplier and the cost of materials. Last written submission. Dear council members, I'm writing regarding the upcoming decision for the future of the Cache Creek Recreational Pool. After careful consideration of the financial, our infrastructural and operational challenges outlined in the reports, I believe that it is in the best interest of the community to permanently close the pool in its current state and location. While the pool has been a cherished part of Cache Creek for many years, the escalating costs and required repairs, including the estimated $107,000 to $142,500 for critical systems like chlorination, deck, and tile repairs, along with potential unforeseen issues due to the aging infrastructure, presents significant financial challenges for our community. The ongoing budget constraints and operational limitations further complicate the viability of rehabilitating the current facility. However, I do not believe that closing the pool should signal the end of recreational opportunities in Cache Creek. Instead, I propose that we look forward to the future by seeking grants and funding a year-round indoor community center that would serve a wide range of needs for the residents. Facilities similar to the Hope Recreation Center, which includes a gym, pool, arena, and conference space, would provide a vital hub for community activities, promoting both physical health and social engagement. There are several grant programs and funding opportunities available that we could explore to make this vision a reality, including the Invest in Canada Infrastructure Program. This program would provide up to 40% of the necessary funds for a project that promotes recreation and social inclusion. Then the Canada Community Revitalization Fund, supporting projects that revitalize communities. This fund offers up to 75% coverage for public spaces like community centers. British Columbia Community Gaming Grants offers up to $250,000 for capital projects. This grant could assist in building a recreational facility that serves the entire community. The Green Municipal Fund. This fund could provide financial support for energy-efficient, sustainable designs, which would be critical to ensuring that a new facility is economically viable for years to come. As for location, I believe it's worth considering unused or centrally located public lands for this project. A site near the downtown area or within easy reach of public transport would maximize accessibility and benefit the greatest number of residents. I hope that the Village of Cache Creek Council will join me in envisioning a future where our community thrives with a modern, multi-purpose facility that meets our growing needs and sets a new standard for recreational services. So that's all the ones that were written or emailed in. Next, I have all the ones that were on the pool contact form. So with these ones, I'm going to read them out, but I'm also, because in that form, we were asking people if they wanted to close or rehabilitate the pool, and we also asked them where they were from, if they were from Cache Creek, Clinton, and so forth. So I'll be stating all that as well. So the first one is a resident of Cache Creek who is in favor of closing the pool. I believe as a community, we do not have the financial capacity to run a pool. We have lived now without a pool for quite a few years, and there are not that many children left in the village. Many people have their own above-ground pools or take their children to Ashcroft. I would much rather see the monies being spent to improve the aesthetics of the village and make it more welcoming. We definitely need to encourage more business for a better space. Spending money on a pool is just not necessary. Next one, resident of Clinton is advising to rehabilitate. They stated the community pool is an extremely valuable asset to the village. Not only does it encourage outside play and exercise, it actually gives a reason, albeit a very small one. Seems the village has zero interest in attracting, I don't know what that word is, anyways, to encourage young families to move here. There is an alarming trend of closing valuable outdoor and family activities, and communities are suffering. There is next to zero incentive for new people to move to areas like Cache Creek due to the severe lack of things to do. With the extreme heat that Cache Creek area receives, the pool is a valuable asset to families and adults. Areas to enjoy the outdoors and cool off in fun and healthy, in a fun and healthy manner. There we go. Closing the pool is just one more strike against Cache Creek. It's quickly becoming a ghost town. So many complaints already about a lack of things to do and how few incentives there are for younger families to move into the area. Losing the pool is a death sentence for Cache Creek. Next statement is from a Cache Creek resident. They are advising to close. Their statement is, it will be too expensive, build something for the children. The next person, resident of Cache Creek, recommending to rehabilitate. They stated, I think we should really get the pool back. It used to be such a fun activity to do in Cache Creek. I miss being able to swim in the pool so much. Next, Cache Creek residents advising to rehabilitate. Our pool is a source of many good memories. I can remember jumping off the diving board repeatedly, swimming laps endlessly, and treading water for long periods of time. Water polo was a major sport at our pool. And I remember when the Public Works Department built nets out of PVC, and it was life-changing fun. Under Coach Sean, our team went on all the way to the BC Summer Games. Memories like this need to continue to be available for future generations. As well, learning to swim is a life-saving tool. Swimming builds core muscles in the body while providing aerobic conditioning, which will improve a person's health. I want to see our pool back just like it used to be. Our pool is a part of our town's history and should be restored. Next, resident of Cache Creek, advising to close. We taxpayers have already faced yearly and substantial tax increases. I would like to know, on top of our already rising taxes, just how much more council plans on adding on to pay for the rehabilitation, maintenance, and staffing of the pool. Next, resident of Cache Creek, opting to close. Our village is in disarray. It needs attention on the rest of the community. I've never been ashamed to live in a place till a few years ago. And yes, I know we have suffered from floods, however, it looks terrible. Next, resident of Cache Creek, opting to rehabilitate. The Cache Creek pool is a very important part of our community. It gave kids something to do in the summer months. Tourists from all over stop to enjoy our pool while traveling through Cache Creek. Swimming lessons are so important for kids to have. They can also get lifeguard and life-saving training. People brought their kids from 100 Mile to get their kids swimming lessons. The pool is great for adults and seniors, while lane swimming and aquafit. Everyone can use the pool. It has been missed so much. I am sorry that this is taking so long, everyone. Let's see. Next one. Member of Cache Creek, advising to close. I believe this pool is a waste of money. As a taxpayer, I don't want taxes to go up in regards to the pool that has no guarantee. We also have a beautiful pool 10 minutes away. There is no reason these two communities cannot work together with buses in the summer. Bring something unique to our town to encourage visitors. A bike pump track, spray park, playground like Kamloops. We need actual bathrooms that are open. The park hardly gets maintained as it is. I've lived here for 17 years and it's a disgrace. Ashcroft had a heck of a time getting lifeguards this year. Why do we keep competing against each other? Our community looks like hell, getting it thriving and not putting lipstick on a pig. That park is the pig. It's damaged just about every year. It's a waste of money. Move the park up on top of State Road where all the kids actually live. Quit living in the past and looking at the future, Quit living in the past and look at the future and what it could be. The last time we used the pool, it was so cold I quit taking my kids. I find the Ashcroft pool is way more kid-friendly, of all ages to begin with. Unfortunately, I would never buy a season's pass in Cache Creek for that reason. I'm sure people would also enjoy their sidewalks being plowed again with a new machine, considering most of our community is made up of elders. That money can be spent more wisely somewhere else. And these points and many others were made in the last meeting in regards to this. Quit wasting people's time and listen, because the answers will not change. Council is here to work for the people of the community, not just for what we want. Next, resident of Cache Creek recommending to rehabilitate. They stated, we need a pool to accommodate everyone. Next, resident of Cache Creek opting to rehabilitate. The pool is so far gone, would live to see it back but don't see it. The water park would be less upkeep or something like that. Next, resident of Cache Creek recommending to rehabilitate. I think we need our own pool to reopen. Parents work and can't take their kids every day. Their kids would be able to walk and occupy their time instead of causing mischief. Next, resident of Cache Creek advising to close. They stated a bridge of the fire hall and something for youth to do, like a pool hall or bowling hall. Next, resident of Cache Creek advising to close. The cost of staff, let alone the cost of rehabilitation, is far too high. There is a perfectly good pool in Ashcroft. The money saved could be used for transportation service to the Ashcroft pool. Additional funds could be saved or sourced to build a water park. There's low maintenance with zero staff, so there's something for families and children to do in warmer months. Next, resident of Cache Creek, who is neutral. I would love to see something for the children, however, I fear the cost would be too great. Maybe a splash park instead. Next person, resident of Cache Creek, advising to close. I don't think the money that we would spend on the pool is worth it. I would far rather see a water park or something for the whole community to enjoy. Next, just a moment, just need to scroll my screen. Next is neutral, member of Cache Creek. I don't think we should have the pool up and running for our residences here because we have to travel to Ashcroft for our children to be able to go swimming. There's also a park there for the children to play and have picnics. Please and thank you for asking. Next, resident of Cache Creek, recommending to rehabilitate. We need something for the youth to do in the summer and promote exercise and our once beautiful park. Grant applications should be looked at. I also feel we need to take a look at the local flirting issues first that keep gouging our budget in the short and long term. We need sustainable development and growth in Cache Creek. Band-Aid will not attract new businesses to our area. Next, resident of Cache Creek, recommending to close. Cache Creek has a very small tax base. Our taxes have and will increase significantly. The cost of rehabilitating and maintaining a very old pool will only add to the tax burden. Look around, Cache Creek has suffered major damages due to flooding. A lot of the costs will have to be covered by the village, i.e. taxpayers. Even without flood damage, there's a lot that has to be done to make this town look pleasing to the eye. Years ago, Cache Creek relied on revenues from waste stack. That is no longer the case. A pool is wonderful, but the burden to the entire village with the costs so a handful can enjoy it is just not fair. It's hard to believe that the pool is even being considered at this time. Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to close. The pool is long past its lifespan and will require money that could be better spent in maintaining our critical infrastructure like water, sewer, parks, and roads. Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to close. Money would be better spent on fixing the sewer plant. The odor is nauseating all summer, every summer. Next, resident of Cache Creek recommending to close. Pool requires complete reconditioning as well as upgrades to the chlorination system in order to be compliant. Our tax dollars would be better spent to maintain and upgrade village infrastructure like road maintenance, crack sealing, etc., water system maintenance, reservoir cleaning, valve replacements, upgrade maintenance is required, sewer system main cleaning and video, infiltration repairs, sewer plant repairs, etc. We can visit the pool in Ashcroft. Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to rehabilitate. We feel the pool should be fixed and opened up. The people, and especially the kids in the village, need this so bad as there is nothing here for them to do in the summer. Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to rehabilitate. I personally think that rehabilitation of the pool would be a beautiful addition to the village of Cache Creek. There's a growing young population that could use and enjoy it, even if it would open part-time jobs or limited hours. Charge similar price as Ashcroft and offer seasonal pass for families. The park looks empty and unused without the pool in the summer. Next, a person within 15 minutes of Cache Creek is recommending to rehabilitate. They simply said, bring the pool back. Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to close. I was all for restoring the pool originally, however, it was then left for years during COVID and got worse during this time. When it was brought to light the true depth and nature of the repairs and costs, I was floored. I then thought about all the other things our community is in need of. For example, our garbage truck breaking down, constant need to upgrade our water and sewer pipes and stations, and other things like cleaning up the town so it's more inviting to all folks who drive through here. We have a ton of stuff that has still not been cleaned out since the flood in 2022. I think we can all work together to attain this. Our town is not looking its best, to say the least. It's not inviting and looks run down in some ways, if I'm being honest. So keeping this all in mind, it would be my decision to close the pool. I'd be open to new possibilities for future recreational needs as a community. Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to rehabilitate. The community deserves a cool place for fun activities in the summer months. If the pool is not rehabilitated, there's still a need for a place to cool off in the summer months. Next, residents of Cache Creek stating that they are neutral. Personally, I think a water park would be more cost effective and less maintenance than a pool. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. Next, residents of Cache Creek, they are neutral. I think we need the pool back in place. Maybe think about a new location, like under the covering, which really doesn't get used. Maybe the old pool could be a skateboard park area. Kids love this activity. Our park needs more activities for families to meet and greet and watch our kids play, as well as adults. Next, a member of Cache Creek recommending to rehabilitate. As a mom of two, I think that there needs to be more things for children to do around the area. Opening the pool would be a great idea for everyone. And if opening the pool isn't an option because of the funds and hiring staff to operate it, is it possible that the town could open up a water park? Next, member of Cache Creek recommending to rehabilitate. We need an indoor facility containing a pool, gym, walking track, etc. Residents from babies to the elderly would enjoy and benefit from year-round exercise opportunities. Many people with disabilities could find relief from their ailments, not to mention people requiring rehabilitation. Hospitals are discharging patients much earlier due to bed shortages, and the closest centers in which to do this are Kamloops and Kelowna. These are only a few reasons. I'm certain you'll find that there are even more. Next, resident of Cache Creek recommending to close. Though I would love to see one here, I have to wonder if the pool is either affordable or feasible at this point. I feel that a splash park or pad is much more realistic, costs less, and you also save by no longer needing to hire lifeguards. I think at a minimum it's worth looking into. Just have to scroll my screen here. Next, resident of Cache Creek recommending to close. I feel that we have better ways to spend the money in the community than continuing to fix up the pool. It's going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to get that fixed when we can be fixing other issues that Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to close. We cannot afford a tax increase, and we should be cleaning up the town first. Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to close. The cost of rehabilitation of the pool is far too high for the taxpayers to bear. Our taxes have gone up enough in the last year. It's unfeasible to put this burden on the taxpayers. The annual operating expenses are another burden the taxpayers would have to bear. A spray park would be something more affordable. Next, member of Cache Creek recommending to rehabilitate. I would like the Cache Creek pool to be fully repaired and operational by spring 2025. There is the Cache Creek Extension garbage dump and gas capture plant that should be providing yearly donations to help keep the pool operational, and numerous grants the village of Cache Creek could apply for. There's a lot of tourism opportunities in the area, so we need far more amenities so that they stop to enjoy our town. Next, member of Cache Creek recommending to rehabilitate. Don't get administrative heavy, keep it simple, no managers, let OEM manage the pool. Apply for funds, get support from local First Nations. I sit and watch from my deck a lot of non-community members stopping for the park during the summer months. It's income opportunity. Families can go back to using these facilities. Next, member of Cache Creek recommending to close. We consider the village of Cache Creek is in the business of making people homeless. Then I suggest that they put these funds in other investments than the derelict pool. Next, member of Cache Creek recommending to close. Has the village Public Works been able to codify a new collective agreement? The village has been in need of replacement equipment to do the tasks we already require our Public Works to perform without adding further workloads such as maintaining the pool. Will you be increasing the workforce back to past numbers since this department has been short-staffed for several years? Have you budgeted for PRV replacements throughout the village and water service upgrades to the Winchester, Nugget, and Frontier area of Cache Creek? Back when the pool was operational, there seemed to be an issue with parents sending their kids to hang out at the pool as a free babysitting service. Does council believe this will not happen again? Where would operating funds come from if the village could afford to restart the pool? Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to close. There are more important things that should be done in the village than the pool. In 5 years, my taxes have doubled. If they continue to go up, I will sell and move elsewhere where I can get more for my tax dollars. I pay more taxes here than I did in the lower mainland. Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to close. Taxes have more than doubled. Am I reading the same thing? Yep, that was my bad. Sorry about that. Next is a resident of Ashcroft recommending to close. I love the pool, but they are so expensive. I'd like to see a spray park instead, and a skate park or bike park for the kids. Next, resident of Cache Creek recommending to close. Giant waste of money. The money should be spent on replacing worn out water pipes and sewer lines. Next, resident of Cache Creek recommending to close. No one uses it. It costs too much to operate and upkeep. Next, resident of Cache Creek recommending to close. Too expensive, waste of resources, money spent better in other places. Also, why do we have to keep having a meeting after meeting instead of making a decision? Next, resident of Cache Creek recommending to close. Could we spend the money fixing up the roads or other issues? Just a moment. Next, our resident of Cache Creek recommending to close. We want to fix a dilapidated pool that has long passed its useful years. The pool is on a floodplain and so badly damaged that it would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix. Where is the money coming from? I don't want my taxes to be increased for a pool that will hardly ever get used. Taxes in Cache Creek are already too high, and many residents can barely afford their taxes and utilities as they are now. Where are you getting the lifeguards to staff the pool every summer? Hopefully our village has taken notes on how well Ashcroft did with getting lifeguards this summer, 2024. It didn't go too well. They almost didn't have enough, and when they did open the pool, they had to close it many times due to shortage of staff. How much would admission be per person? How about pool passes? Most kids these days would rather sit on their electronics or hang out with their friends than spending time getting their lifeguard certification. Honestly, how many parents out there have the time, money, and ability to take their kids to Kamloops so that their child can get lifeguard certification? Not many, and with the way the cost of living is going, it's amazing that some families have a roof over their heads and food to eat, let alone money to pay for taxes that they already can't afford. I'm strongly against fixing the pool. A pool that's long past its life expectancy, to which it would cost tens of thousands of dollars to fix. It can even be fixed, seen as everything is old, run down, broken, and vandalized. We are a small community with very little resources and very small tax base. Money can be spent in other places where it's desperately needed, like our crumbling infrastructure at this time. Next, somebody from outside Cache Creek, recommending close the pool, it looks way far gone, bring in something like a water park or a skate park. Next, resident of Cache Creek, recommending to close. It doesn't appear that a public pool is a good use of taxpayers' tax dollars. It was used minimally when it was free. Our taxes will be impacted significantly if we can repair it, and I question whether we can afford to maintain and staff it. There must be options to provide our children and youth in the community with a recreational space without breaking the bank. I get that Cache Creek has enjoyed this privilege for years, but perhaps it's time to move beyond the pool and find something to replace this activity. We keep asking the parents who I get pay the taxes, but maybe a conversation in the schools would better shed some light on what the kids would use. Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to close. We definitely need something water related here, but this pool is not the answer. We need to stop looking back and start looking forward, something new and cost efficient rather than spending a fortune to put lipstick on the floors. Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to close. An unusable amenity is costing taxpayers. It should be removed and destroyed. It's an eyesore to visitors. It's unsafe. It uses valuable village workers' time. Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to close. If our taxes are going to increase, we say no to the pool. There's a pool in Ashcroft. The time for pool discussions was 5 or 6 years ago. We were very aware of that situation. Our taxes are already extremely high. We look around and wonder where the funds are going, nothing visible. We don't seem to have enough money or qualified staff to clean up the town, and it has been a disgusting mess for a long time. We should be trying to encourage new families to move to Cache Creek. This is not going to happen the way the town presents itself when you drive through it. We chose to move to Cache Creek in 2004. The town was financially comfortable and the appearance was pleasing. Today the coffers are empty and the town is anything but pleasing. Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to close. The village is not in a financial position to continue pursuing restoration of the pool. The facility has been at the end of its useful life, and the cost to repair the facility that continually runs at a deficit is just not feasible given the financial challenges the village faces. The pool portion should be filled in and dismantled to eliminate the ongoing cost of heating, recirculating all water through the winter, and explore the cost of renovating change room building into multi-style washrooms and a kitchen to complement the coverall/park facility. Next, residents of Cache Creek recommending to close. It is too expensive to bring the existing pool up to a safe and usable standard. Given the state of the village's finances, it is time to close the pool once and for all and move on. If it is possible, save the fence, washrooms, and some of the cement deck, fill the pool and turn it into a surface that can be used as pickleball court or tennis court. The washrooms could be used in the summer when the playground and park leaves. That is the end of the comments, and a recap. 16 of the 54 online recommended to rehabilitate, 34 of the 54 recommended to close, and 4 of the 54 were neutral. I'm done. I'm sorry.
Thank you. And Jessica, were there some comments from the Hub Online? There's a microphone right there.
I will stand here only because the mic or the camera's there. Oh, I'll just stand behind. How's that? I just have one, so I'll be quick. Michelle Nelson writes, Spray Park would be more ideal and start getting real about the current infrastructure in Cache Creek managed properties. I'm assuming that's what you meant. A 10-year plan would be ideal.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Now, is an opportunity for members of the public to present your views in person by coming to the microphone, stating your first and last name, and giving us the benefit of your views related to the Cache Creek pool.
Turn that microphone on. A second, Arnie.
Or do you want to turn it on? I can turn it on,
Okay.
I think. Maybe not.
Slide it towards you. The button on the top.
There. Work?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm only lived here for about 3.5 years. I do a lot of volunteering, but I look around the room at all these meetings, and what you don't see is young people. There are no young people. I've never lived in a town that feels so close to dying. There needs to be recreation. Be at the pool. Someone's got to look at the cost. Because there's nothing to do if you're under 25 here, nothing. And who's going to move to Cache Creek if there's no pool, there's no bike trails, they're foreign for riding, there's no skateboard park, there's nothing here. And I know there's lots of talk about high taxes, and I know things are expensive. But you're never going to get ahead of the game. Taxes are going to have to keep going up for the few that live here, because no one's moving here. The few things that happen in Cache Creek are the fire department, the Easter egg hunt, the water park on July, the car shows. Everything is volunteered basically by the fire department. Outside of that, village doesn't do, they don't have the money, but they put nothing on. The town has nothing for young people. Anytime you hear about young people, it's them causing damage. They're lighting fires, they're in the pump house, spreading chemicals, they're in trouble. You're never going to get young people to come to these meetings until they feel engaged with the community. And if the community is giving them nothing, they're not engaged with it. If they can enjoy being part of Cache Creek, they become members. They're not just people. You need to find a way. The pool, I think the pool's a good idea, but I don't know the total cost. That should always be put first. But if not the pool, then something has to be done immediately for under 18 recreation. Like, it's sad. I moved here to get out of the city. It's sad when I look around. You don't see people walking. You don't see people running. You don't see people anywhere because there's nothing to do. That's all I got to say. Adam, my name's Lauren Target. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone else wishing to speak?
My name is Wendy Coomer, and I've lived in Cache Creek since 2002. We all love our swimming pool. There's no doubt about that. We all have cherished memories of happy times spent at the pool with friends and family, and it's easy to overlook the nearly annual problems that the village staff has to deal with, such as chlorine leaks, burst pipes, broken down circulation pumps, and costly other items that have often delayed the pool's opening. The cost was nothing while the village was living high off the royalties coming from the Cache Creek landfill. It's a different story now that the village has to pass on those costs to the taxpayers. In the world of asset management, a 50-year-old municipal swimming pool has come to the end of its life. We should have been making plans to replace it years ago, but instead council continues to pay for reports, appraisals, and more meetings to find justification to flog a dead horse instead. Dragging the pool issue on is dividing the town and keeping council focused on this single issue. Our cherished memories of the pool will remain. It's time to move on. Close it and start planning for a new, more cost-effective recreation facility, one that comes with a growing reserve fund and a plan to replace it when it reaches the end of its lifespan. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy.
My name is Gary Winslow, and I have lived in Cache Creek since 1996 with my wife Megan, excuse me, and we've raised 3 sons, all of whom took swimming lessons at the Cache Creek pool. Pools used to be the heart of the community to show off our wealth, but now prospective citizens want affordable housing and access to health care. I feel I am qualified to talk about pool maintenance as I was a gas contractor for both the Village of Ashcroft and the Village of Cache Creek for almost 20 years. I also installed and serviced the dual pool heater system at the Ashcroft pool, which ran for several years prior to the changeover to solar heating. Maintenance was an ongoing issue every year because chemicals, water, and piping are a brutal combination. I know many past and present maintenance people who were tasked with making the Cache Creek pool operational each year. All of them stated that the village required them to cobble infrastructure together just to make the pool operate. Right up until Interior Health said enough and gave an extensive list of repairs needed to achieve an operating certificate. That list would be larger now. A pool can be an asset to a thriving community, or it can be a boat anchor to a struggling community. And I'm quite sure that every person living in Cache Creek agrees that we are a struggling community. We are not in an impossible situation, but we have many challenges now and going into the future. I want to see this community succeed, and I believe we can overcome the challenges we face through good leadership and good fiscal responsibility. And I implore Council not to lose sight of your mandate to maintain our solvency. Megan and I try to do our part in making Cache Creek a good place to live and raise a family. We're involved in Graffiti Days, Bonaparte Watershed Stewardship Society, the Ash Creek TV Society, which operates our local radio station, along with many amazing people who are always working with the same commitment as us to better the community in this area. The number of people involved in these groups is actually quite small compared to the size of our community, but they are the people who do the work. And one thing I haven't heard them talking about is let's get the pool running again. It's quite the opposite, actually, because people who are really involved in this community want to see their tax dollars used to replace old, broken infrastructure and equipment, support our public works, clean up our streets, do disaster mitigation, preparedness, all the stuff that matters to our quality of life. I encourage all the people who feel we need to put tax dollars into rebuilding the pool to the point we could actually get to an operating permit from Interior Health to cover the cost of maintenance on a yearly basis moving forward, to form a nonprofit and solicit funding to make it happen just like the rest of us do. There is nothing in the village charter requiring us to have a swimming pool, but there is a long list of things the village must provide, and much of that is in need of repair or replacement. In conclusion, Cache Creek is not unique in this province when it comes to the financial challenges facing us. Many communities are in similar situations and need to adapt to changing times. Some will succeed, others won't. Let's not become a community who lets our wants outstrip our needs and our finances. Sincerely.
Thank you, Gary. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the council related to the future of the pool?
Hi there. My name is Deanne McIntyre. I live here in Cache Creek. I was not planning on saying anything today. I did post online. I'll just reiterate what I said there first. This village desperately needs family-friendly activities, and a pool would be amazing. It's great educationally as well. We can link up with the schools that are close to the area and here in town. Other schools that come from outlying areas like Clinton, 100 Mile House, as well as added revenue from people who would be using the pool. So it's a win-win that way. I made a few notes. They're gonna kind of jump around a bit, but I feel like there's a lot of misdirection from what people are saying. I think they're confused by other things that need to be done in the town as well. And it's not an either-or situation. I think that people need to know how much it's going to cost to have a spray park, how much that's going to cost to maintain. Everybody's thinking that they can just flip it around and have a spray park, but those are expensive as well. A little bit of my background, I was a lifeguard for over 20 years in Kamloops. I also went to Alberta. I ran the Airdrie pool out there as well. And I also ran a pool in St. Paul, Alberta. So I'm not talking from a place of not knowing. I have a little bit of knowledge. Things that a pool can offer your community are, like I said, swimming lessons for kids. You can teach the bronze levels. That is what you take before you become a lifeguard. That is for your kids that are in this community to stay in the community and contribute to your community by being the lifeguards at your pool. The other things that you can offer, there's a ton of different programs you can offer, from seniors, lap swims, aquafit, kayak lessons. Like, you can branch out in any direction. You can offer different types of first aid courses at your pool. You can offer Swiftwater Rescue. Part of their courses are also done in pools. Like, there's a lot you can do with a pool, and I don't think everybody's seeing the broader picture. The spray park would need to be built and maintained. You could have a season pass. You could link it up with the gym. The infrastructure is already there for the pool. The initial cost has already been paid. It's being wasted right now, honestly. Teaching could go on at the pool, lifeguarding courses, etc. This town is in desperate need of a safe space for children. I think people need to hear that. Kids need a safe space in this town. And yes, I have kids here too. Children also need a space to do safe activities. Another idea that you could do is you could link up with the hotels in town, and you could offer discounts or swimming packages and things like that to the hotels, where their guests would be using the pool while they're at the hotels, and that would bring parts of tourism into it as well. I think, like I said, people are distracted by all of the derelict buildings in town and all of the things that need to be maintained and aren't being maintained, but those aren't necessarily the village's duty. Those are the people who own the building's duty. So there needs to be a sense of pride in this community as well, and for people to clean up around their areas. Busing kids to Ashcroft is going to be incredibly expensive. That's not an easy thing to do either. So if you're thinking you can just ship your kids off to Ashcroft to go swimming, there's a cost involved with that as well. And it would be a cost involved for the village to ship them down there as well. Another misdirection was about the floodplains and lifeguards, etc. Your lifeguards are going to come from your town. You just have to build it up. The building blocks are there, you just need to build up on it. And that's a huge misdirection for the spray park being cheaper than the pool. I don't know, I think this is a dying town, and if you want it to grow, you need young families here. Young families are the basis of any town's growth. And if you don't have anything for the kids to do here, you're not going to get the parents here. You're not going to get those young families. So I think this pool is an existing infrastructure, and that you should build upon it. So didn't mean to go that long. I apologize, and thank you for listening.
No problem. Thank you very much. Okay, who's up next?
Not a public speaker, but I'll give it a shot here.
You don't have to be a public speaker for us, man.
I'm Murray Condon. I've been in Cache Creek for 22 years. I raised 2 daughters here. We spent a lot of time when they were young at the pool, and the last few years of the pool, I can tell you from experience, my daughter was the only one in the pool more times than not. I would love to see a pool here, but it's a different world now. Kids don't spend a lot of time outside, unfortunately. I just don't think we are in a place in this village to spend the money on a pool. It just does not make sense. If you could guarantee that those kids would go to the pool, I'd be all for it, but I think that we'd be throwing good money away building a pool. That's my thought.
Thank you. Who's up next?
My name is Derek Nelson. I've lived here since '99, and I'm the opposite side as Murray because his kids are older now, but I have 3 younger kids. So, you know, a pool I feel would be great for the community, but I also understand the financial part of it too. So, you know, I think you're going to have probably half the village wants it and half the village doesn't, because you're going to have half the people that have the kids and half the people that don't. But I do have a problem with people coming up and saying that Cache Creek is a dying community, because as a business owner, I have seen more new faces come through the store than I have in a long time. We have a Tim Hortons being built. We have a big card lock at the end of town that was being built. The port has been here. Somebody else said earlier too that the community doesn't put on any functions, which I have a hard time with as well, because Friday night or Saturday night they had a big Oktoberfest here, and well, it doesn't matter what it is. It was a function, and no, you know how many people showed up? 45. You know, graffiti family dance. You guys put a great thing on. How many people show up? There's not enough people in the community that have the heart that want to support the community, and I think that's where a lot of people are wrong when they come up and say the community is a dying town. You either support the community or you don't. And I've got deep roots here, and I plan on being here a long time. So it's hard to hear a lot of people come up and say that, oh, we don't do this, we don't do that. There is tons of stuff the community does, but everybody here just doesn't support it. So I'm for the pool.
Yes. Thank you, Gary. Okay, who's up next?
I've lived in Cache Creek since 1956. My kids all went to the pool. I love the pool.
You gotta state your name, sorry.
Marilee Kylie. I love the pool. It had its day, but I think it's done. Kids are different now. I'd like to know what Ashcroft's yearly summer what did they do with their pool this summer? What did they bring in? What did it cost them? Has anybody checked into that?
I don't know the numbers.
No, but I mean, is it available? Could you check into it? Because I mean, I was down there a few times with my grandchildren and going by to go to Desert Hills, and I mean, it's just not very busy. And they have a beautiful pool with the hot tub and the whole smear. They have a beautiful park. But except for soccer, who uses it? I think the pool is just gone. I hate to say that, but in this day and age, kids don't go and live at the pool like they used to back in my kids' day. People don't let their kids out of their own yard, for heaven's sakes. So, I mean, it's too late.
There's got to be other people here that have opinions. Here comes one now.
My name's Alex Eckman. I've been here since 2006. I used to be proud to admit to being in Cache Creek because I showed up here with nothing and was able to not only keep a roof over my head as a single income, raise a family, and I couldn't imagine anywhere else in this province or perhaps this country that I could do that. That's getting harder and harder to do here, and I don't see the financial detriment of a pool making that any easier. Even as a gas station attendant, I had to have an operational vehicle to function in Cache Creek effectively. I can't imagine too many other families are without some form of transportation. At that point, if we want to bring more people into this community, keep it financially viable, and try to offer them something that isn't just 10 minutes away. That's my take.
Thank you. Next. You can't tell me with a group this size that that's it. Nobody else wants to say anything? Oh, somebody does want to say something.
Dave Johnson, been here for 18 years now, going on 19. I thought back March, April, we had made the decision that the pool was going to be decommissioned. We're going through this again. I think the biggest concern for the people are the high taxes, what the pool would do to their taxes. There are so many other things that money needs to be spent on. I think the pool would be great if we had the tax base to support it, but business taxes are high here, homeowner taxes are high. You start increasing taxes, the first thing that's going to happen, businesses are going to close up. We've already lost a lot. Yes, we do have Tim Hortons coming in. It's been basically one of the few things that's happened here since I've lived here in 18 years. We've lost more than what we've gained. I would just like to see this put to bed and just say we can't support it. Thank you.
Thank you. What's next? Nobody else want to say anything? I'm not seeing anybody jump to their feet. Before closing this public hearing, I'll call 3 times for further speakers on any of the matters discussed in relation to the Cache Creek Recreational Pool. Those who've previously spoken twice during the public hearing may not speak again unless there's something new they wish to speak about. For the first time, is there anyone who wishes to make further representations? For the second time, is there anyone who wishes to make any further representations? Yeah, there is one. You waited for the second time. That's all good. That's all good.
So we can do the people that's over here. I'm Jean Claudette. I only stay here for a short time, but I live in Cache Creek in Ashcroft for 25 years. So, but anyway, where should we account the accountable for the?
Your name?
Jean Claudette. The people that are over here, should we tell them who's for and who's not for, or we just gotta go by the people that send an email?
It's not a vote.
Pardon me?
It's not a vote. It's just giving the council your opinion on the topic.
Oh, I thought you had to go by a percentage of who's here and who's nay then. So, okay, no problem.
Ultimately, it will be a decision of council whether to decommission the pool or rehabilitate it.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Are you coming to speak in that? Yes. There you go.
Annette Pittman. Been here for 60 years. And yes, back in the day, it was a great pool. We really enjoyed it. We had a lot more children, I think, in our community. It's hard to tell now how many kids are here because we don't see them on the streets or anything. But it's a tough one because people wanted the pool, but over the last few years when it was open, the numbers were down. So it's difficult to say, yeah, we want to still have the pool. But what are the costs to decommission the pool? And also when we're looking at a water park or whatever with our hard water, we're going to be back into the same boat with the pool, I think, because it's just too costly to have the chemicals to maintain a water park. So there's a lot of different things to look at, and I don't know where the pool is and with the water table or whatever. It's not something simple that we're going to just fill in and make a skateboard park. So there's a lot of things to look at in that sense, but unfortunately I'd have to say that I wouldn't be in support of the pool being without those numbers from previous to show that it's something that would be sustainable for the community.
Thank you, Annette. Okay, that was still on the second time.
Okay, Ann Condon. I'm opposite of my husband. I think we should have the pool. We have 300 students in Ashcroft's Desert Sands, and we also have 110 students in Cache Creek Elementary. So those students need something to do in this town. So I think that we should really look into recreational things for them, because that's a lot of students. Thank you.
Okay, that was the last one on the second time. Now, for the third and final time, is there anyone who wishes to make any further representations? There being no further speakers, I declare this public hearing closed. We'll take about a 5-minute break, if that, and then we'll recommence with council meeting after about 5 minutes from now.
And you're welcome to stay.
Yeah. Thank you all. the regular council meeting of the Village of Cache Creek this October 7th, 2024. We've been through the public hearing. Are there any delegations? I don't see any listed in the agenda, so we'll move on to the minutes of the September 23rd, 2024 regular council meeting. Could I have a motion to adopt as circulated?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Seeing none, committee reports, economic development, Councillor Dubois. Nothing at this time. Thank you. Budget and administrative services, I have nothing to report at this time either. On to bylaw and policy review, Councillor Ranta.
We have a committee meeting on October 21st at 1 p.m. The other thing I would like to move the motion on the agenda, item number 1, permissive tax exemption bylaw 2-017/2024.
I will move it.
I will declare a conflict. I'm on board of directors as one of the groups, so I will step up.
So I move that council give first, second, and third readings to permissive tax exemption bylaw 2-017/2024.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, Sue, you can come back now. On to Public Works, Councillor Ebert. Healthcare and Protective Services, Councillor Ranta.
Nothing to report.
Emergency Management, Councillor Peters.
Nothing at this time.
Parks and Recreation, Councillor Ranta.
Nothing to report.
Landfill Advisory Committee, there's a post-closure care cost statement on page 69 of the agenda. I would move that we receive and file the cost statement.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. TNRD and Intergovernmental Liaison. There was a meeting recently, but I have nothing to report. Cache Creek Community Fund, Councillor Dubois. Nothing at this time. Any staff reports? Apparently not. Information correspondence, there's Councillor report.
I'm just wondering if we can get an update from staff over the recent incident at the pool, or not sorry, the pool, the Public Works, the chemicals.
I can do that. Yes. Go on the microphone so everyone can hear me.
Can you hear me now? Perfect. So yeah, with the chemicals, basically what happened, a member of the public reported directly to me that they saw a group of children entering one of the, because we have multiple chemical rooms in the park, in the pool building, but specifically that a bunch of kids were entering the chemical room where we store soda ash and chlorine, like for when we had the kiddie pool operational, it has the chlorine pucks, like the large 3-inch pucks. So we had those two chemicals in there stored separately, and yeah, a member of the public was driving by, noticed a bunch of kids going in there. They reached out, they didn't know who to call, so they reached out to me directly because it was so close. I very quickly responded down there, and when I arrived, there was a lot of dust in the air. There was no kids at the time. It looked like maybe somebody stepped on one of the bags of soda ash, and that kind of got everywhere. All the chlorine was sealed, accounted for, everything was good there. So that's why we put out recommendations to the public regarding what to do. Things to watch out for. You should seek medical attention if you were in that room, because it's like on my arrival, there was a lot of particles in the air, and I was probably there 10 minutes after the person reported it. So it was very likely that there was a lot of particulate in the air when those kids were there, or maybe that's what caused them to leave, or whatever. But we did that. It's secure now. The full reason as to why they were able to get in, I'm not sure. Yeah.
correspondence then, there are two items. The first being from the Provincial Director of Child Welfare that includes the information that October is Foster Family Month in British Columbia. And the second one, a letter from the City of Merritt with suggestions about how the province should change its rules and regulations surrounding unpaid taxes. So could I have a motion to receive and file the information correspondence?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Is there any new business? Seeing no new business, any questions from the public?
Jeff?
Nope.
Questions from the press? She's the press, she's not public.
I'm both.
Oh, you're both, oh, okay. And then that brings us to an end of the agenda, so I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, all those in favor, opposed, fire. What?